Subscribe for more Reddit stories. Girlfriend cheated on me, and my master plan of revenge began. My girlfriend, 22 female, now ex, confessed to me, 24 male, that she had been speaking to someone else over Instagram and that she felt attracted to him, but that she was feeling guilty and she regretted it. I fucking lost my shit. Why? You must be wondering. After all, nothing happened. Well, I have a miraculous ability to spot people's lies, and this crap was the biggest bullshit I've ever heard. She was cold since the beginning of the relationship, so feeling guilty for just talking didn't seem like her. Being too attached to her, I tried to let it go and focus on work, but something was off and I could still feel it. The paranoia was eating at me from the inside. During the next weeks, we were mutually distant, and she had been surprisingly social, going out with different friends, or so she said, even though she barely has any. This gave me enough to work out that she had told me a half-truth and that she was still doing shady stuff. I still don't understand the reason to half-confess something just to keep doing it. The relationship was pretty much dead in every aspect, and I had suggested the idea of breaking it up because I saw no point anymore, but she insisted on trying and trying because I had located her a good job and she was making big progress thanks to my friends. When I realized this was her reason to go on, something clicked inside me. I had been there for her through unimaginable familiar shit, professional frustrations, and personal betrayals from her friends. I gave her my all the time. I lived to make her happy. But in reality, she had been living on my expense and leaving me in the dark. Being the fucking idiot that I was, I started plotting my Arctic cold revenge in silence. I contacted a random girl that gave me her number some months before these events, but that I never got to call due to me being faithful. I explained why I never called, and she was down for it. The first date we only flirted, but a kiss from her surprised me at the end. It made me feel awkward and guilty. The very next day, I waited for my girlfriend to get in the shower and open her messages to snoop around. I discovered what I had suspected for various weeks. She had kept the show going and to incredible levels, going out multiple times a week, sending pictures, sexting, very often, and even during time windows in which I was with her. Copying and pasting sex-related messages that she sent to me when we met, even posing for him with clothes my parents gifted her for Christmas. My guilt flew out of the window. Somehow I managed to control myself from freaking out and exposing her. This mustered all the courage and blind rage I needed. So that night I called Jay again and went through with it in the most spectacular, anger-driven way I could imagine. For the next 2 months or so, I kept this up. Had sex with Jay as much as hard and as often as I could while still being a normal boyfriend. Some days I spent the entire evening fucking Jay just to see my girlfriend at night and fuck her some more while I focused on the hate in my head. After that, I usually left out little hints of mistrust towards her just to make her feel anxious and guilty. In the end, I broke things off with my girlfriend, uncovering her lies, but kept my things to myself so I could keep my moral superiority over hers. She denied it all even after I showed her proof. She cried for days about getting back together. This part actually made me feel like it was all for nothing and never really gave me closure. Jay got comfortable around me, but I was far gone into the narrative of this plan. I couldn't even consider going out with anyone at this point, so I had to stop things with her too, in a much less dramatic way because she was partly aware of what was going on with me and I was mostly in this for the sex. Some months passed and the girl that my ex most hated, because she was very popular among common male friends, happened to come work with me. To my surprise, we hooked up and kind of got close to each other but not serious. My ex was still bitter over the breakup when she found out and texted me to confirm it. I avoided answering and instead drove to her house to tell her in person and watch her crumble. All this shit did nothing but mess with my head. Her cheating gave me anxiety of other people betraying me, but I did prove that I too was a piece of shit like no other. Since the realization of this, my treatment for women and relationships has changed greatly. I would never pull some shit like this again. But at the same time, it had to happen for me to change and see the consequences of letting oneself go with rage and hate. It only leads to pain, not healing. For those feeling bad for Jay, I only chose her as my accomplice because she was in a relationship when she gave me her number, hence, was trying to cheat. Basically, I thought I was making justice in more than one name. Nevertheless, I feel bad for her. She didn't deserve being caught in my shit and treated like that. She was the only one smart enough to ghost forever. I welcome your despise with open arms.